Today I got quite the plan. We'll see how it turns out. There's a lot of football on today, so I'll probably not get it all done. The steering, I want to try and figure the step out on the back because I'm taking the bed off. So I'm going to put my pressure regulator back by the gas tank. So here's where I'm at with this steering. Apologize for that heater running, but it's cold. So got that knuckle. I cut the heim joint down so I could get more space here. I felt like I was a little tight, so I cut that down so this comes more straight. I'm gonna jack the center up so I can steer back and forth a little better. Man, I've had the tires are towed in really bad. That probably has something to do with it. I need to talk to the guy that did that. So I'm going to cut some gussets going this way across, because that's the way it's going to want to torque, is into the engine and into the A-arm. So I'm going to make some flat gussets, or one, to put on this side to weld in. At least that's my plan right now. So here we go. So the one thing I love about this project is when I feel like I've had a win. So, I still need to tighten these right here. Okay. So I got this in. I drilled each one of these set screws so they go into this double D. Set that, got the heim joined in. Got these tightened up. I'm gonna have to do something with my spark plug wires. That isn't gonna fly. And I might look at that a little closer. This is a little out, but here, let me see if I can set this here somehow. I don't know how. There, maybe. Let's see how that heim joint holds that. Nice and solid. Maybe. Yeah, the heim joint's right in the bottom. So I did a little gusset in the back. Everything's black down in there. And then I welded this heim joint to that gusset in the back so it doesn't get any side-to-side motion. I got almost a finger's width, I guess, between right there and here. And then I'll tighten those down. Oh boy. We'll see how this looks in a second. Just a minute. I'll try and show you what I was worried about. You look up inside, right there. See where the edge? You can see the edge right there of the steering shaft. And I was worried that my set screws wouldn't hit the steering shaft. In that case, I would have had to slide my steering column in a little bit. It's not that big a deal. Make sure before you put this D-ring on, you get your shifter. So this has a rod that goes down to here on the 700 R4. That's how you shift, and I'll have to rotate that, I'm positive. But I think everything's good. I'll set that in, and the steering will be done. Okay, this weekend I didn't get as much done as I really wanted, but I could not be more excited to be able to steer my truck. I'm pretty stoked. I'll show you what I did and what you shouldn't do when you put in a steering column. But I've got to get a lot done tonight to get ready. I've got a bunch of kids coming over tomorrow to see what I'm doing. I'm really wanting to try and hear this thing run tomorrow night. I doubt it'll happen, but getting fuel to the engine is important. So I've got to figure out what to do with that fuel regulator, the pressure regulator. But let me show you what I did in the steering column that that messed it up for a little bit. So I was putting all of this additional stuff on here. Down inside underneath of this, there's a spring that you drop into a hole, down into the hole, then compress the spring and put this guy in. I didn't watch any videos on how to do it. I just thought, I can figure it out. Well, I dropped the spring down into this. I don't know if you can see that little crack. I could see the spring, but I couldn't get it out of the hole, pull it out of the hole. I had to fish it back up through this hole and have my wife try and catch it when it came up through. So it was about a half-hour job. So if you get this type of steering column, put it all together before you put all this stuff kind of on before you put it in, or that spring's going to get away from you. So I'm trying to get my fuel lines done for tomorrow night. I got everything tightened up here. Getting underneath this is a lot easier when there's not a cab. Let me crawl or show you. That is where I wound up putting that thing. I can reach that from the other side if I need to increase or decrease the pressure. I'm gonna put a couple, I'm gonna bring this up to here, run it straight across, and then come up across to this. And then I should be getting my my 6AN to 3/8. I'll press that in right there. Maybe I'll put, I used up all my fittings. So I'm gonna have to try and figure out how I'm gonna route that back to this right there. I gotta get a bunch of stuff out of the way. But that'll be tomorrow night. And then I should be able to, let me show you what I figured for my power to my fuel pump. So while I was sorting through my junk, I found something that I accidentally saved. It's my plug-in for my fuel pump. So I need to ground this and then route this down and through to the front, bring it up into the cab. I got that out to start figuring that out. But I'll route that into the cab. I think is where it'll go eventually and hook into the fuel line there. I don't know, would you use that wire going back to the fuel pump and the fuel gauge, or the sending unit up here? Or would you just run that up in and butt splice that inside? Let me know what you would do there. I'm gonna jack up the back of the truck. Gonna jack up the back of the truck tomorrow night in case it's in gear. That way it won't run away. But still need to get a fuel neck, come up here into the bottom of the bed. This is my breather, and this is from the front. I'm just gonna leave that off, I think. I don't know what to do with this. Do I get a hose? I don't know what kind of hose I need to buy for that. Let me know, but that is what I've got done tonight. Let me crawl underneath this and I'll show you my setup underneath. Tell you what, it was a lot easier to get underneath this truck when the cab wasn't on it. But there's my fuel filter. It's a strainer type, so I can pull this end off, clean it out if I need to. Fuel goes through, up in to there. That's my supply. This is my return line. And then my supply on the other side to the engine. Ouch. This is how I have that set up. I have this anchored so it can't get close to that brake line. Have this little feller on here to keep that together. And then it goes back. With my wiring, would you run it here or keep it up higher and run it across the belly of the truck using these clips? Would you run it along there and drop it down in? No, I got to keep it clear of this. Yeah, I'm tapping the drive line. This is a really bad video, sorry. But yeah, routing my electrical to the back. I've got my fuel pump, the fuel sending unit, the rear tail lights for marking, brake lights, and turn signals. So this is awful. But where would you guys route the wiring? Would you come down this side and go inside I think this is where it was at originally, was inside this rail. Follow that up to the back because I got tail lights, brake lights, markers, plate that I need to get back there. Then my fuel sending unit, the fuel gauge, and the pump. So if you guys can help me out with that, let me know just the routing on that. Thanks. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'm really close to firing this thing up. We'll see if we get a grundle with kids to show up tomorrow night and if we can get it to start. I still don't have any transmission fluid or my radiator put in. And there's some other issues that I'm looking at where I don't have a heater core in the truck and might need to buy a plug for that. But hopefully I'm to a point that tomorrow night I can maybe start it. Wish me luck. Thanks again for watching. So maybe I'm dumb, but I'm adding gas to my gas tank. I got the blue gas, so maybe it won't varnish. This sets in here for a year. But I got all the fuel system tightened, I believe, and about ready to start the fuel pump and maybe see what kind of pressure I get. So I pressurized the system, and this is my bypass. I don't know if you can see, probably hear it, but that line just pulled completely out. So it leaked. I'm surprised it didn't run gas all over the floor, but so there's one issue I got. Okay, we're gonna try and start it. We cheated a little bit, got it going once. I have the fuel pump going. I have my little jumpers, so here we go. My fuel pump popped out. Here, we'll put it back. Okay, got gas. Got the coil and started. Nope. I wonder why it's doing that. Okay.
I don't know.
She runs. I'm so excited. Now it needs a radiator. And figure out why it's smoking. I'm hoping it's the paint. I don't know if you can see where the Doesn't smell like exhaust though.
These are super hot.
Gotta figure out why my
Yes.
that pressure gauge doesn't work.